Okay. Good morning, good afternoon. Let me move my mic down. There you go. Probably can hear me now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to Charging League Racing. My name's GingerNut1107, better known as Cow, and welcome here to round 3 of season 5 here in CLR. So, as you can see, we're here at the Nederland circuit, although it isn't going to be your normal Netherlands circuit. It's going to be the reversed version. So that now means I'm going to have to struggle and get my way around calling turn, whatever it is, 14, turn 1. So we'll give it our best shot. I do have corner names and corner numbers. I'm not going to try the names. But it's going to be a bit tricky for me as I'm going to have to switch them myself. So turn 14 is now turn 1, turn 13 is now turn 2, and the pit lane is the wrong way around. Let's wait and see how our drivers can handle it today, as it's going to be an interesting one. But for now, we're going to get involved in some quali action. In chat, we've got a lot of people joining in. Twinkie with the subscription to Twitch Prime. Thank you for that. Very nice of you to do. We always appreciate a little bit of following in the Twitch. Joanne will follow on the Twitch as well. Thank you for that. The 106th follower. You are 106th. Everyone wishing each other good luck. Never race. I've never actually been in a lobby of a reverse track before. Every time in CLR we've done it, I haven't been here. So this is my first ever reverse track. Yeah, I haven't even done it in TT yet, or time trial, as some of you might know it as. So it's going to be an interesting one. I know the track backwards because in the past I've played around in it, but it's going to be an interesting one to see how I can cope commentating it. There you go. There is turn 1. There is Bubba. He likes to go out first, doesn't he? He does like an early start. Let's have a quick check through. I'm just going to give a couple of invites out. There's Roshi Hunter. He's in chat. That's Rico. He's supporting Bubba and Ricciardo. We've seen him doing that before, haven't we? Where's Hobnob and Jean? There's Hobnob. And Jean is there. And MJB, what's the other one? Where's MJB? I don't think he's online. No worries. Right. Qualifying time then. Qualifying time. The weatherman's here as well. We've got full dry sessions. Love to hear it. I'm already out of water. I had a whole litre and I'm already got about, I don't know, 200 ml left. Not even that. Wait and see how my voice holds up. Hobnob's gone. Oh, he's in a very good start, is he? Let me just quickly wipe through some of that. Jean's got here. Right, here comes Bubba. Let's do a lap with the Dutchman. He's flying towards turn 1 now. Turn 1, the banking left-hander. Flat out goes the kicks out before you break into turn 2. Quite a tricky one. A little bit of a tank slapper coming out. Before you have a bit of a long sweeping right of turn 3 and then 4, which is a nice little kink to the left. Then you have DRS open that rear flap as you go down the straight. You can see that Qatar Airways sign, which was now going to be heading towards turn 5. Now a long sweeping right as you get yourself into the heart of sector 2 before turn 6. Left-hander for the next left-hander of turn 7. Is he going to hit that inside curb? No, he's not, but it's flat out before we get up towards turn 8 and then 9. Another good flat-out corner. And then this section of corners is going to be very, very exciting. This is down the hill, back up the hill before the long sweeping banking corner, which usually 3 is now turn 12 for the kink of turn, now turn 13. And then the final corner, or turn 1, as you might know it as, coming along the line, DRS activated to the line, and it's going to be a 1 minute 10.2. Not bad, not bad. Quite good, actually. We were looking at the best lap time probably to be around, I think it was meant to be around, what was it meant to be? I can't even remember anymore. Is it? Well, Appy's put a 10.2 in, but I think it was meant to be about 9.8, 9.9. So we'll keep an eye on it. 9.9. Some of you might recognise that. 9.9. Anyway, moving on. Here comes Skull. He'll be the next across the line. What can Skull do? I don't think it's a very good lap time. I think he's abandoned it. Yep, he has. He'll be going again Twinkie come across the line. He's improved. We see this every race he does. He's getting better, Twinkie. He's getting better, and he's up to P3 at the moment. Only 5, now 6 drivers at a lap time, so keep an eye on that. Andrew only good enough for P6 in the Williams. Nivi only good enough for P4, second off of Alex. These racing bulls very, very doing well at the moment. Max Tier up to P5. A lot of people coming out early to get some laps in. We usually see some people hold off for a little while, but not today. Ellie comes across the line to get P6 in the Alpine. Not a bad lap time. Man, I want to keep an eager eye out for is the Aston Martin of Beyond. Also got his teammate Jean next to him. Maybe these two working together a little bit. Try and get that extra pace out of that Aston Martin. It is Mercedes, will be Honda. Ricciardo as well. In the McLaren, gets himself up to P6, just ahead of Ellie. Not a bad lap time from the Papaya team. Wait and see what the Papaya rules can do for Ricciardo and Reggie here around the Netherlands track today. We then have Andrew. Has he gone again? Has he improved from his previous lap time? Yes, he has. Good enough for P4. I'm going to quickly turn off my telemetry just so I can see my screen. So yeah, good enough for P4. Not bad, not bad. A little bit closer to that front running pack. He'll be happy with that. He'll be looking to improve again, but he'll be happy with that. As we see a bad unsafe release from the McLaren in front of Nivi. But in the game, it doesn't really matter. But that was a little bit dodge, It's Mercedes, McLaren at the end of the day. What can you expect? George Gamer as well. That's not George Gamer. That is Max Tier. But George Gamer, talking about George Gamer, 3-time world champion. We'll wait and see if he can do any better than that. Maybe try and get 4th. But at the moment, he's done a retirement and 10th. So he's all the way down in P18 in the drivers. So he's looking for a better race, as it's a bit of a tricky one. Ellie says it's weird to drive this way. I can imagine. That's a very nice camera shot of, I don't even know, maybe turn 10 and 11. But yeah, I can imagine it's a bit weird, especially as everyone's going to be really used to going the normal way. Karlik, though, comes across the line. Purple sector 3, just topples off Nivi. These two Mercedes team this Mercedes team, it's quite a menacing force. A lot of these teams are quite scary, to be fair. Thursday tier is quite stacked with some very, very class drivers, so it's quite close. It is quite close. Apart from Racing Bulls has got a bit of a lead at the top of the constructors. Closest behind is Aston Martin, so I want to keep an eager eye on what they can do. But we have actually got a lot of reserve drivers who seem to be showing some class performances at the moment. As well as Jens. Jens gets himself up to P4. That's quite impressive, isn't it? Jens to P4. Let's see if Pens can keep that position. The Danish driver, not usually up there, might have a little bit of a nosebleed at the moment, but he is currently in P21 in the drivers, so we'll wait and see what he can do. Haas, though, as a team, up in P3 as he's got Blow as his teammate. So not bad. But obviously Blow's not here, so it's down to the Danish driver today, the Danish youngman. Who'll be next? Who's going to be next? It's going to be George Gamer. He looks like he's had a little bit of a tow from Skull. Let's see if that's given him any advantage. Maybe a little bit of an extra power boost down the straight here. It probably will do as he gets that rear flap open. A little bit of extra battery power to the line. Only good enough to just roughly get around his teammate. So not too big an good a lap time just yet. But George Gamer isn't much of a qualifying man, is he? He's not much of a qualifying man, but in the race, it's worth keeping an eye on him as long as he can keep out of trouble in that first lap. The Aston Martin Giro get themselves up to P11 and 12 as it stands. Not too bad, but this pack is beginning to get closer and closer as we go through each week. Reggie, let's see if he can get himself into the mix. He's Mr. Saturday, and he shows why he has that name. Up to P4 goes the Reggie. Not a bad lap time indeed. Not a bad lap time as a good banker, good starter. His teammate Ricciardo looks like he'll be going again to get another lap time under his belt, and I want to see what Skull can do. As I think there's a car running off. There is Ellie on the outside of turn 2 in the gravel. We're not sure what happened to her, but clearly the gravel being a bit of a saviour there, making sure she does not go flying off into the wall. But yeah, that's a tricky one. It's a tricky corner to get right, and we do see a little bit of a struggle there from our first driver, and that is Ellie. I'm sure we'll see that into the turn 1 and 2 in the race. Skull, though, gets himself up to P2 at the moment with 9 minutes left on the clock. That's not a bad lap time from the British driver in that Kick Sauber. Kick Sauber at the moment, all the way down in 8th in the Constructors. I know it's early days, but still all the way down in 8th. These two, quite far up there. Has Skull even competed this season? No, he hasn't. This is Skull's first race. Welcome back, Skull. I think there's another one's first race today. I did write it down somewhere. I can't remember who it was. I think I was speaking to Pinkweb. I can't remember. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Here comes Nivi. Down in P12 at the moment. He'll be looking to improve as his career so far back in CLR Thursday is only a P7, which he got around Hungary. Missed last week, but he's back again. See what he can do around the Netherlands track. We'll keep an eye on that as Skull brings that kicks out into the pit lane nearly, and we do see a front wing on that pit lane entry, or what is usually the exit. So a lot of people struggling with the entry. I think we'll see that in the qualifying, in the race as well. Let's keep an eye on that. At the moment, though, Bubba has just toppled off his teammate, getting himself up to P2. So it's a Kick Sauber sandwich with some V-carb bread. Sounds quite tasty, to be fair. Sounds like quite tasty. As Furious Happy is really up there at the moment, isn't he? Really up there. Who's that Williams? That Williams is Andrew. After his exciting week away, he's back again, back in the car. What can he do? As he comes to the line, he gets himself up to P2. He puts a bit of butter between the filling and the bread of the Kick Sauber and V-carb. Not a bad lap time by Andrew, the Canadian driver. Is it Canadish? Canadian, not Canadish. Oh, he's going to hit me for that, isn't he? He's going to hate me for that. The Canadian driver gets himself up to P2. Where is his teammate? Who is his teammate? That's a good question. MJB. MJB's not here today. MJB's not here today, but good lap time from Andrew. The Canadian driver, as I said a second ago, not doing too bad. Jens says, quite happy with my lap there. I hope I can stay up. P8, not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, it's hopes and prayers for Jens to stay there, as he'll be looking to improve later down the line for sure. Dear Alex makes his way back out onto the track again as well, so keep an eye on him, see what he can do. And where is Jean? Where is... Oh, there he is, up to P2. I did miss it, but he has set a lap time now. Where is Jean meant to be? What car? Jean, what car are you meant to be in? I'm going to double check. I think it is Aston Martin. I think it is. Yeah, fair enough. You're on the right car. I thought it was. Anyway, but he's up to P2. He's added an extra layer of butter in that V-carb sandwich. So yeah, there's Jean. But I like the Aston Martin car. Do I like the Aston Martin car? It's alright. Yeah, it's alright. I don't know why I'm judging the Aston Martin car. We'll leave the Aston Martin car alone, shall we? Let's go and have a look at Bjorn. There's an Aston Martin car as well. Alright, we'll look at Alex. Sorry, Bjorn. Anyway, here comes Alex. Currently top of the table and top of the timing sheets. Not doing too bad, is he? Not doing too bad as the man from Milton Keynes. Here in CLR, he's showing what he can do. He is a fairly quick driver. We saw him last season showing what he can do. It's now time for him to show it in a full, proper season. 5 minutes 30 left on the clock, and like whatever it is, 15 rounds or something left of the season. Every point counts, but with 15 rounds, there's still a lot to play for. And he is only 14 points away from Blow, who's not here. Oh, sorry, Bjorn, who's not here. 15 points to Blow, and then Emery. So it's quite close behind Alex. But the gap to Alex is quite a big space. So watch the space. I hope you just enjoyed that little bit of engine sound of that RB Honda. Well, it's not an RB Honda. Oh, big lock up by the V-carb. We're just having a little look at the engine sound, or a little listen to the engine sound of the Honda. It's quite a nice car, isn't it? But that lockup is not going to help his lap time at all, sending some down the drain. Let's keep an eye on how he can do as he comes to the line. Is it going to be an improvement? Of course it is. It's Alex at the end of the day. 9.3 is absolutely out of this world. That is something else. That is something else. 9.3. Blimey. And I think he might have more time in it, as he did scrub off quite a lot into that right-hand banking of turn, I want to say 11. I want to say 11. I'm going to say 11. I'm going to trust myself. Twinkie to the line, starts his possibly next and final lap time in this qualifying session here at Nederland. So, yeah, quite an important one for the Red Bull driver, especially as his teammate has retired already. So let's wait and see what Twinkie can do. He's invalidated. Interesting. There should be enough time for him to cool down and go again, but that's not what you want. Not what you want. Skoll as well. Here comes the kick Sauber. He's got an Aston Martin in front of him, who had a huge lockup, has got out of the way of the kick Sauber, who does seem to be doing quite a quick lap time. Fingers crossed he didn't get held up too much as Alex retires in pit lane, clearly thinking it was a good enough lap time for P1. But let's wait and see what Skoll can do. It's an improvement, but not by much. Only good enough to topple his teammate for P4. So we'll keep an eye on what Skoll can do later on. But yeah, not as good improvement he would like. Not as good as improvement as he would like at all. P4 though, not bad. And dear Alex, very, very brave to retire this early on in the session, doing a bit of a Sebastian Vettel back in Singapore all those years ago, as that Ferrari does not sound healthy. Sounds like my Peugeot. But yeah, dear Alex, very brave to retire that early. There's still, especially as we think there might still be time in it, as there was a big boy lockup going into that turn 11. Who's going to be next? Everyone's just on outlaps, aren't they? Everyone's just on outlap. Here's Twinkie though. Actually, no, Twinkie's going again, isn't he? So we'll keep an eye on Twinkie. Let's give him a bit of the spotlight. No pressure, Twinkie, as he is now coming around the heart of Sector 2. A little bit wide there, but it has been kept as valid. Pushing the Red Bull to the limits as it's left, right, through that kind of a sling section here in the Netherlands, as it's a beautiful camera angle as you watch the back of that Red Bull fly up the hill before taking turn 11, before turn 12, that inside curb, going as wide as you dare on the exit, before turn 14, cutting as close as you can to that wall, and then pushing yourself to the outside, to that white line, for opening that rear flap, and to the line. Twinkie does improve by about 3 tenths, good enough to beat Bion and Nivi, but only for P13, and the guys behind are on hot laps. So is Ellie. So we'll keep an eye on what these three can do. These three can try and beat Twinkie. You don't want to be at the bottom time sheets. There's not a thing you want to have to your name, as Nivi is going to be coming across the line to start his next and final lap time of this session. So will be Reggie, as he's coming across the line now, closely followed behind by the Aston Martin of what is a Bion. We then have, that is a Williams, that'll be Andrew. He's coming across the line to start his next lap time. And we see a V-Carb of Furious Appy going a little bit wide there, as Ricciardo starts his next lap time. But I want to keep an eye on whatever that was. Where's Ellie? There she is. Here she comes towards the line now. Rear flap open, getting herself foot to the floor and pedal to the metal. It's a big improvement, but only good enough for P16. And that is where she will stay, unless anyone gets disqualified. But I don't think there is any disqualifications happening. So that is all that Ellie will be able to get out of the session. Unlucky for her, but she said she wasn't experienced enough around the rearwards track. So, you know, it's a little bit of a tricky one to try and do off the bat. Who was that just come across the line? That was George Gamer getting himself up to P6. His teammate of Max, what can he do as he comes across the line? It will only be good enough for P8. Only a tenth or two off his teammate though, so not too bad. Not too bad. Here comes Nivi though, to the line. What can he do? Up to P8 goes the British driver, British or Norwegian, a little bit of both. Up to P8. Nivi 03, not a bad lap time. Sorry, P9 now, as the McLaren of Reggie comes across the line for that P6, and then Bjorn goes just behind the man from Brighton and gets himself up to P7. Not a bad lap time. What can the other McLaren do? Will there be a little bit of papaya rules in the race? We'll keep an eye on that, but let's keep a keen eye on what Ricciardo can do now as he comes to the line. DRS flap open, and he just matches his teammate. Not too bad. Andrew to the line as well, gets himself up into a not too badly reasonable P4. Barbara bans his lap time, brings into the pit lane. Jens doesn't improve, neither does Closer Garlic. And I think your last one is going to be George Gamer, who's coming into the pit lane, but no, it's not. There goes Jean to the top of the timing sheets. Class by Jean, the Frenchman. The Frenchman only just topples off DRL Alex and gets himself that P1 as we go into the race now. It's going to be exciting, isn't it? As Jean, he's not normally up there in qualifying, I don't think. I mean, he's not bad. He's not a bad race driver, is he? And he's not a bad qualifying driver. But he did get P3 last time out, and he's showing his intentions as he has topped the timing sheets here at the Netherlands Grand Prix. That was some race in there. There we go. So there is your final timing sheets for that session. Topped by Jean. Alex close behind. Bubba in the Kicksauber gets himself into P3 for Andrew Skull, Reggie, Ricciardo, Bjorn, George, Furious Happy, Nivi, Max T, Jens, Closer Garlic, Twinkie, and Ellie round off your grid as time setters. DJ Williams doesn't get a time on the board and has to settle down in P17. So I'm sure they will be looking to improve soon enough. If you don't know, it's now time for a break. So I'm gonna run a 1 minute 30 ad break. So let's have a big pause between the race and the qualifying, and this is when we get to catch up with chat. So no point for fastest lap. So saved a set of softs. There is a point for fastest lap, dear Alex. There is. I think it's in the chat. Is it in Discord? Should be. Let me check. It's league info, isn't it? Yeah. Fastest lap point for top 12 only. I thought there was. Oh, my Discord's updating. Okay, great. But yeah, there is. Good luck, everyone. Best of luck. It's a little bit of a boring pause, isn't it? I'm meant to be like waffling over it, but at the end of the day, there's not much to say. Not much to say. Anyone want to join in and chat? Something to say? How was your day? You at work? Okay, Jens. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant at all. That's my 1 minute 30 ad break gone. So, you know, I think we're still waiting to go. Let's have a look. Has George given out the call? I can see he's typing, so I'm assuming he's getting it ready. Was that it? I want to see some racing. Yep, right, perfect. Right, let's do it. I'm gonna quickly plug some things in around my room. It looks like another Qatar. As long as I finish, I'm happy. Or we want to be aiming more than a finish here, Eddie, don't we? Let's try and get some points on the board. Right. So if you don't know, I like to explain it every time. We now go into a formation lap. Formation lap is a little bit of time where drivers can go around the track once at a reasonable speed. They go around the track at a reasonable speed, and yeah, they just get a little bit of warmth under their belt. or under their rubber, should I say. Ha, F1 joke. Oh, God. Anyway, we'll have a look at your tyres as I quickly take it off the screen. There you go. So, a lot of medium tyres. We have the hards. That's on Alex. It's on Furious Appy V-carb matching. And then one of the Mercedes cars of Closer Garlic has gone for the hard. We also have a couple of softs as well. Ricciardo going different to his teammate for a set of softs. Max Tier's gone for a set of soft, also going different to his teammate. And then we have Ellie going different to her teammate, going for a set of softs. A little bit of mix between certain teams. Pink Web smells a crash between turn 1 and 2 on lap 1. Ooh, probably. It's quite tricky to do when you don't know turn 1, because turn 1 is now flat. And it's turn 14. So yeah, we'll have an eye. And it's going to drop back so much of the hards. Hards are horrible. On the start, yeah, but we saw it last week at Qatar. I think he started on the hards. And he very much showed a lot of pace, didn't he? I know he didn't win. Emery won. But he wasn't bad, was he? He wasn't bad. There's a little bit of a mess going on back here as well. Skull is causing a bit of a kerfuffle. So are the McLarens. Everyone, and we have actually seen a DSQ. I missed that. Ellie and Twinkie. That means they've come together in a formation that touch the other person, and you're DSQ'd from sprint race. No, formation lap. I'll get that one day. And yeah, you can see them there already lined up. They will be ghosted though, so you just go straight through them. Okay, so this gives me a little bit of time to rest my beautiful voice before we get some racing action. The smallest of contacts, yeah. Welcome to EA for you. Anyway, I get to rest my voice. Wrong box hobnob. There he goes. As he comes to the line now. Who is that? Of course, it's bloody Jens. Anyway, Jens will come and fill us in to his final grid position now. As we now get ready to look towards the 5 big red lights here in CLR that will ignite the silence for round 3 here in Season 5. We now go to 5 big red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Jean with a good start. Alex bogs down like Pink Web said, and there's a massive crash at the back. But here comes Bubba around the outside. Oh dear, Alex, easy move before we even get to turn 1. And through turn 1, it's side by side through multiple drivers. We see contact between George Gamer and Furious Abbey. The V-carb goes spinning off. We see the Mercedes of Garlic having a bit of an incident early on, but there's going 2 by 2, a little bit of Noah's Ark here before we go for a little bit of a chicane section. The Ferraris, one having a good start, one bogging down. A little bit of a struggle for Max here. George Gamer though, incredible start flying up the line. Dear Alex, as Pink Web said, had a little bit of struggle as he comes across the line, comes out of his big grid box and falls down a little bit. Your boy Hobnob as well has a fairly good start. It's Bjorn. I thought I saw someone dropping down the order. It was all the way down to P17. He spent ages practicing for this Grand Prix, and he's all the way down to P17 as he does just make a lovely move on the inside of Mercedes. Not too bad at all, as DJ Williams is very much struggling at the back. Couple of front wing change damages. Everything I called went into reality. I don't think there was a crash into turn 1 actually. There was a crash on the start-finish line, and there was a crash in turn 2, but not in turn 1. So not always, not all correct. Not all correct. I just said the same thing 8 times. Excuse me. Anyway, here comes Pink Web. I was just saying stuff to Pink Web. Here comes Alex. He is beginning to get those hards into a fairly operating window as DJ Williams has sped into the pit lane. Not a good start. And now he's getting held up by his teammate. Even worse. Anyway, back to Alex. He has got that hard tyre into that window that he needs to have. And, yeah, here comes the pace, I'm going to say. Here comes the pace on that V-carb. And once he's dispatched the kick Sauber, if he can dispatch the kick Sauber, it's now down to him and Jean. As we see another spinner, I think it was Ellie. Yes, it was. Had a fairly good start, did Ellie, with a couple of people having to change their front wing. A little bit of a dangerous rejoin there, as Bjorn has to take a bit of an avoidance, but does manage to stay out of the way as we go on board with the Alpine with a beautiful camera angle here, right up the back of Bjorn, as a couple of drivers had a fairly poor start, but we'll wait and see who can recover. It's a long race, 36 laps to go, or 33 laps to go for a 36 lap race. So there's still time. There is still time. Let's go, Bubba. First race win. We'll keep an eye as Bubba hasn't fallen too far behind from Jean. Only 1.4 at the moment, but a little bit wide there through turn 3. Does give Alex a good line as we're now going down the first DRS straight. Alex makes an easy move there. Makes it almost look like it was bread through hot knife through butter. And Bubba looks like he's beginning to struggle. Maybe we be given a bit of a supporter's curse, you could say, as he's got Andrew right up the chuff now. Andrew hasn't had a podium, I don't think, since Monaco back in, what would it have been? Season 1? No, Season 4, sorry. Maybe F1 24-25 launch season. Something along the lines of that. It was the start of one of the seasons. It's been a while. He'll be looking for a podium. Bubba will be looking for a podium. And a podium is not a bad point haul. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. As there's a yellow flag down the main straight for nothing. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But Jean, it's really beginning to pull away. As Roshi says something in chat. I don't know what that means, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. But it is now down to Alex, who has that job to hunt down Jean, not to let him pull away too much. I think Alex might be getting a little bit of a flashback now to when it was between him and Emery last week, and he spent a lot of time behind Emery than he did in front. But here comes Andrew now to the outside. Bubba gives a little bit of a squeeze. Good racing between the Williams and the Kick Sauber for that podium position here on lap 4. Andrew is trying to put that pressure under, but Bubba not falling for it, and he keeps that position up in P3. Not bad. Roshi is cheering on. Come on, Bubba. Let's wait and see what Bubba can do. I think Ricciardo, though, on that soft tyre, might be looking to pounce soon enough. Hobnob as well is absolutely showing why he is a race winner up to P10 from P18, not starting and qualifying. So yeah, that is something. Max here as well, not too bad a start. Jens with an incredible start. Maybe that toilet break he had between sessions gave him a bit of weight reduction, but let's see what Nivi can do. Round the outside of turn 1 goes Nivi. Oh my words. Nivi with an absolute master move on the Danish driver. The Mercedes showing how it is done. That was beautiful. Oh, Jens, you've been made to look like a muppet. MJB's here in chat. How are you, MJB? How are you? Oh yeah, Nivi with a purple Sector 1. I am not surprised. That was something. Anyway, back to this Andrew Bubba fight. It is really close now. 2 temps separate these two all the way up here to P3. They've really fallen off from DR Alex, who is trying to continue to hunt down the Aston Martin. But yeah, Andrew is going to want to make that move sooner rather than later, and make sure he keeps $1 in his pocket to make it happen. Let's see if he can do it with a dosage of DRS as we go on to what will be lap 6 now. It's going to be a good opportunity as he comes around. Does he get the traction down well enough? I don't think he has. And if you don't know as well, just add the DRS straight actually goes all the way around turn 1, all the way around until about now, where it cuts off on the braking zone. So it's quite tricky, and it's quite tricky to get the car stopped. As you see Andrew going a little bit wide there. We have Williams retiring, or not retiring on track, but leaving on track, which I think would be a penalty. But yeah, Andrew beginning to struggle to try and get that car stopped into what is now turn 2. But towards the inside, can he make it happen? No, he cannot. But he does try to size one up. That was an incredible look up the inside by Andrew. It's sooner rather than later when he's going to try and make a proper move stick is the Canadian driver. Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. As they come now. It doesn't feel like too long ago they were here. They're back here again within a matter of probably about a minute. And around the outside, Andrew tries to go. He goes to the switchback now into what will be turn 13. Squeezed by Bubba. Very heavy squeeze. Off the track does go Andrew through the polystyrene barrier. But yeah, Andrew is really, really wanting the position now as Bubba is giving him the hard shoulder. covering off that inside nice and aggressively as we go side by side through turn 1 towards turn 2. Bubba gives him the hard shoulder once again. Andrew can't do anything to get past this Quixalba. Beginning to get very, very annoyed, I'm sure, as it's now 4 seconds to dear Alex. Bubba is really holding up the field. Maybe not any pace in that Quixalba, but does he look to the inside? No, he doesn't. Bubba covers him off once again. I think he might have had DRS as well from the Red Bull there. Can Andrew just do anything to try and make Bubba make a mistake, possibly? That might be the only way that the Canadian driver can get past the man himself. The man himself, almost like Daniel Ricciardo, Mr. Defense over here, is showing what he can do. As there is a bit of overspeed here on that Williams car. Can he do anything as we go round the outside? No, he cannot. Has to stay behind Bubba for even longer. Ricciardo, will it be any longer till he tries to make a move on Andrew? As Andrew is really, really struggling to get past that Quixalba. Can he do anything now? Again, DRS, battery, foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, anything else he can do. What can he do? DRS round turn 1. Still has that DRS. Can he do anything? To the inside. Oh, contact's been made. Huge contact's been made. Andrew does get past Bubba, but Bubba has to concede 2 positions there. I'm not sure whose fault that was. I didn't get a very good look at it. But that was something interesting. And that has given Andrew P3. I think they both come out of it unscathed, apart from a little bit of a sweat broken. Nothing wrong with some hard racing. That is some hard racing, but I think that bit might have been a little bit too much. Yeah, maybe a little bit too much there from Bubba or Andrew. I don't know, but that bit was a little bit too hard. But the bit beforehand was some beautiful racing. Beautiful racing. At the back, we might see similar. As here comes Twinkie, maybe on the inside of Closer Garlic. No, not a place you want to make a move. But can Twinkie can do anything? Ooh, a little bit wide there through turn 2. So he's going to have to stay behind for a little bit longer now. As that was another very big vibration from my controller. It was just Ellie. Another front wing change for Ellie. Ellie really, really struggling in this Grand Prix. She'll be lapped now onto lap 8. I think it's lap 8 for her. It's probably, yeah, lap 9 for Jean. So, yeah, Ellie, getting lapped all the way down in P17. But it's all to play for. It's all to play for. Anything can happen. And she's on for a set of softs as well. We'll quickly show you that tyre for everyone at the moment. So you can see there's a couple of drivers at the back made a pit stop already. So keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on those as they pick quite early on. And there's a fight going on for P9. Max just got done by your boy Hobnob, and now he's going to get done by Skull. Hard racing between these two. Max being shown what the green stuff looks like. And can he do anything? No, he cannot. Has to give in to the British driver there. Not bad racing between these two for the little bit of points down at the back. But I'm sure Max won't give in that easily, and we're going back for it soon enough. Soon enough. Lovely battle. Lovely battle. Lovely battle. Anyway, let's keep an eye on these top 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to P7. There is a fight on our hands, and there's some big boy names in this fight. All of them are quite big names. Most of you will recognise them. And it's for a podium. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but quite big spacing between them all at the moment. So nothing to change yet, as Max here has come into the pit lane, and he'll be changing onto a set of hard tyres. Number 21 on the Scarlet Red Ferrari has got himself a new set of boots. Let's see what he can do with a bit of fresh rubber, maybe going for an undercut here on lap 10. So yeah, your pit stop so far, everyone from P13 downwards have made a pit stop. Ellie making 2. So, you know, they're in a good position if there's a safety car now. Not now, because then they're going to lose that track position. So maybe they got to wait for a little bit later. Getting that undercut, you are putting that risk of a safety car happening and losing that position, losing that time that you might gain without that safety car, with that fresh rubber. Up at the front, though, we thought it was going to happen, and now it has. Dear Alex has got that hard tyre into that perfect window, and with some DRS, can he do anything to try and size up a move on Jean? Not yet. Not on lap 11 he can't, but But the further we go on, I think the easier it'll get for him, as that tyre will be even more and more happier than the Aston Martin, who is on a medium tyre at the moment. Ricciardo is doing well. Obviously, with Bubba and Andrew coming together, Ricciardo gets a free position, getting himself up into P4, and with that soft tyre, he's doing quite a good job to keep the car on track, to be honest. 11 laps in, they're going to be a little bit tired. They're going to be very tired. Anyway, dear old Alex, here he comes. This little bit of sweeping track is quite an easy place to gain some heaps of time with slipstream, but Alex begins to lock those front tyres. He's going to begin to cause him some issues if he's not careful. He's got to be careful in that rubber, as it's getting a little bit tired, a little bit grainy now. We'll jump on board with the V-carb, as it's now going to be pedal to the metal. ERS, DRS, everything he's got. What can he do as we go through turn 1? He pushes the Aston Martin through. Does he make a move to the inside? No, he doesn't through turn 2. Anywhere into turn 3, can he make a dive bomb? No, he cannot. We'll have to stay behind for a little bit longer. But we do know there's another DRS straight as we come out of turn 4. Does he use it to an advantage? Can he make a move happen as we go up towards turn 5? He does make a move to the inside, but I think it was just a little bit too late and not close enough to make it happen. So he's going to have to stay behind. But he is pushing. He is trying for it. And so is now Ricciardo. That soft tyre, which is tired, as we be saying in chat, they must be cooked. They must be cooked. And yeah, he's actually beginning to close back up on towards Andrew, closing about a tenth or two. So is Andrew beginning to struggle a little? Is Ricciardo showing some pace? But at the front too, for P1, there is some pace being shown. Alex tries to make a move around the outside, but he can't make it happen. He makes a move down the inside. Oh my god, into turn 14. Dear Alex makes it look like he was going to go up to the inside, but it was a little bit of a day late, and he did lose his dollar. It was a little bit short, and he does have to stay behind, but DRS again on that V-carb will close that time he's just lost and try and close him back up towards Jean. This is some crazy action. I wish we actually saw what he was doing towards about turn 12 there, as that was something. That was something. Jens still leading the train. The Danish train here of the Haas car has got the Skull, Hobnob and Bjorn special carriages. So, you know, some nice carriages to have on your train. But for Jens, probably not, because they are quite scary. They are quite scary, these three, aren't they? They are fast. They are fast carriages. We then have the other train of Andrew, with Ricciardo, Bubba, George, Nivi in that train. Again, some very fast carriages on the Andrew train today. But this train at the front isn't going to be a train for much longer, as we see try and dive up the inside. It was Alex, and it was the outside, not the inside. He's really wanting to make a move there in that sling section, and then into the final corner. He's tried again, but he has to learn to really slam on the brakes and struggles again to not fly through the side of Jean's side pod. But what can he do now? Goes to the outside, not much room there, but there's enough for Alex to squeeze his V-carb. Little bit of contact made. Jean dives it back up the inside, and he makes a beautiful move, getting himself back up to P1. But there's a pause. What's the pause for? What's happened? It's a VSC. VSC. Okay. I'm not sure why, but there is. I think it's a Red Bull. Who was it? Maybe a V-carb? I don't know. Was it a V-carb? I think it might have been a V-carb. Was it Appy? I don't know. But the race has been brought to a stop, or not a stop, a slowdown. And we've had a couple of drivers bring it in for a pit stop. So, Nivi's pit, Jens' pit, Bjorn pit, Pobnob, Skull, they've all pit. Ellie's pit. So, a lot of people into the pits. But the front couple of drivers, they didn't get enough time to pit before the VSC came out. Which means, if they're lucky, they can get back round and pit with that advantage, and they won't lose anything. But if it comes back in before they get back round, they could be in a little bit of trouble here. Closer Garlic and Twinkie have also both pit, but Reggie has decided to stay out. So has Furious Appy. But there we go. Jean's into the pit lane. Alex stays out on that hard tyre. Thinks he has a bit more time, bit more grip, bit of rubber still on. As 21 closer guard, it gets a speeding penalty. And I think Alex might have two. Yes. Oh no! Alex got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, which he has to serve. He has no choice but to serve. It will be a disqualification, which means if he has to serve it, he can't get it removed after the session. So, dear Alex, not what you want. Not what you want. As he is now going to have to serve that now, or next lap, or if he really wants to, he can wait till the lap after. But it will put him next to Jean, and it will have about 15 lap older tyres. Oh no. Oh no. Ellie's crashed. Ellie retired. I'm assuming that's what brought out the VSC. I didn't even see it, I'm afraid. I didn't even see it. I know something happened as Hobnob left the session. I will just quickly give an invite back because I think he's not planned that. As he's completely gone. Okay. We'll come back to that. But with Andrew, Alex and Garlic both getting that drive-through, that could change their races for the worse. But there are your tyres. So Furious Happy hasn't pit. He did pit earlier on in the Grand Prix. So same for Reg. And yeah. So everyone else has, apart from Alex, who's now having to serve that drive-through. It's long, it's boring, and it's painful. But he served it now, so it doesn't matter. It's all sorted, and he's back out onto the track. And he actually has come out with a fair gap to Jean of 2.4 seconds. So, or 2.2, sorry. Whether that 14 lap order tyre can gain him any time, I doubt. We'll keep an eye on it just in case. As your boy Hobnob and Skull are going at it. Your boy Hobnob has rejoined the lobby, but I don't think he's rejoined his car. So that was pretty easy for Skull to make. And I think it'll be pretty easy for Reg to make as well if Hobnob can't jump back in that Alpine car. Yeah, we'll wait and see. But Alex does look like he's struggling. He does look like he's struggling. But who's not struggling is the fight between Jens and George. George turns in a little bit too much there on Jens. You see, he did make a little bit of contact with the Haas car and lost that rear end. That rear axle loses a little bit of grip there when he made the contact, and did have a little bit of a problem. But he's got himself caught and going again, and he'll probably be trying to size again up on Jens for P7. Ellie thinks this could be a worse track so far. Yeah, you haven't had the best week, have you? Haven't had the best week. Wait till next week. We'll wait till next week. I know he said that last week, but we'll wait till next week again. That is William. Excuse me. William, the AI, has pit. Yeah. Their AI, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, we'll go back to George. Can he do anything now? As he's going to be trying to hunt down Jens. Is it going to be good enough to make a move? No, it's not. As Jens looks like he's struggling a little bit on that fresher hard tyre. Yeah, a little bit of a struggle there. Nivi, though, who's come out of nowhere with that BSC, it's got himself up to P3, and it will be a net P2, as Alex still has to pit. He has to pit. He can't go to the end like this. So, yeah, net P2 for Nivi at the moment. Our championship leader, not in a good spot. Goes with Garlic, speeds into the pit lane. He's had a little bit of a shamble race so far, having a drive-through, and I think that was him serving the drive-through. Gets another penalty, just to top it off. Just to put that cherry on top of the pain he's already had. At least he's going to be in a nice fight with Twinkie now. We'll wait and see how that plays out. Jean, though, on that 14-lap-old fresher tyre. Yeah, I think he's going to make this move look easier than stealing candy from a baby. To the outside goes the Aston Martin. Alex is not going to give it up too easily, though, is he? Gives him the hard shoulder, just like Jean did to Alex. And, yeah, Alex has defended the position quite well. Fair play. Furious Happy, though, brings in the pit lane now off the hard tyre for a set of mediums. We're only halfway through race distance. So unless that medium could go the same distance as hard could go, he might have to make another pit stop. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. I think Alex is going to be thinking the same thing. He's got to try and maintain this time on the hard tyre to go long before we can go for possibly a soft later on for a fastest lap, or maybe a medium. Even with the medium later on, he might even manage to get that fastest lap anyway. But he's got to weigh up the options. Excuse me, sorry about that, I am very tired. At the back, Twinkie and Garlic going at it. We've seen a lot of people trying to make moves into turn 1, and Close with Garlic has just made one happen just there. Reggie as well needs to pits again on that medium. You can see the graining, a little bit of tired rubber there on the McLaren car, the chrome McLaren car, just to add. Lovely, beautiful car he's got there. But yeah, not having a good race today, is Reggie. Everyone else is fairly spread out at the moment, as George Gamer has made a move on Jens earlier on. Let's wait and see if he can make another one now, which will be on Ricciardo. And then he'll have Andrew in his sights for maybe a P4. George Gamer's race has turned on its head for the good way. Not bad result so far. As we skip to this front fight, Jean is really beginning to push Alex now. He is beginning to realise that he needs to make this move happen. Yeah, you do not want to be stuck behind a car with that much older tyre than you. So can Jean make anything happen as he goes round the outside of the sling now? As Alex makes a bit of a tank snapper. The old tyres don't put up enough grip for the V-Carb driver, and it makes Jean have an easy overtake there up into P1. I think he'll pull away without a sweat needing to be broken. Looking back at this George and Ricciardo front, there's a bit of crash, and it's for Furious Appy. I'm not sure what's happened to him there, but I think it's on the exit of oh, I don't know what turn that is, maybe turn 10. Just before the start of Sector 3, his car's been cleared up though, and there's no safety car from that. So the race will continue. I don't think anyone's coming out of that harmed, apart from Furious Appy, obviously. I'm sure he's not going to be Happy Bunny. We did miss the overtake that George made on Ricciardo, though, to cut to Furious Appy to see what happened to him. I'm sure he's not happy about that. Appy on the edge of points. I know. And he had such a good qualifying as well. Such a good qualifying. Yeah, P10. And he was up there in qualifying at one point. George Gamer, though, he is beginning to put a little bit of a gap to Ricciardo, but I'm sure Ricciardo won't make that last too long before he will hunt him back down. And as well, Jens is beginning to hunt up Babo. So, we've got a couple of fights on our hands, but what we also have on our hand is a pitting V-Carb. As one V-Carb retires, the other brings it into the pit lane for his first new set of rubber in this Grand Prix. So it'll be a set of mediums that the V-Carb team are going to put on. Is it going to be good enough for the Alex, as it's a very long hold? As he now gets going, I'm not sure what happened there. V-Carb may be making a bit of a mistake. It might have been Alex making a mistake, but that's a long hold. And he is back out on the track, all the way down in P10. I think if he didn't have that hold, he might have been out in P9. So, not sure what happened there. Not sure what happened there at all. Anyway, we go back to Jens, who has actually hunted down Bubba for that P6. It was about second. It's now only 3 or 4 attempts. So what can Jens do, as it's a little bit of a stagnant part of the lap where there's no overtakes that can really happen. But down this bit of straight, if you get the slipstream and toe just right, you might be able to make a move on the outside or even the inside if you dare around this banking. Jens obviously too far back at the moment. As we now go to the final corner, it's now another place which is quite a nice place to make a move. DRS for quite a while, especially through the corner. Quite an interesting place to have DRS. We don't usually see that, as Ricciardo has made that move happen, as we just spoke about. Can Jens make it happen as well? He'll maybe look to the inside. No, he does not. Has to stay behind there and settle for P7 for a little bit longer. I don't think it'll be too long before he does make that move happen. Ricciardo, though, does make a move on a 3-time world champion, so that is something to be proud of there for the Portuguese driver. DRL Alex is on a mission. He is on one, as he is now hunting back down to get as many consolation points as he can, as he has made a move on maxed hit, already pulled a second, so he's got that pace. He's got that pace, and I don't think that'll be his final position, as he's going to very quickly hunt up the drivers ahead of him. Ricciardo, though, has really pulled a gap on George Gamer. I don't know where this pace has gone in that Ferrari. Maybe he's giving it to Jean, who sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And yeah, George Gamer did have quite a bit of pace in that Ferrari, and it's disappeared. Disappears. Nivi as well, up to P2 at the moment. Will he be thinking ahead for a P1, or is he looking behind at Andrew, who's a lot closer than Nivi is to Jean? I think it'll all be on the cards as Alex just goes 6 tenths quicker than Jean's fastest lap there. There is some pace in that V-carb that is being released. Some serious pace. And that was without DRS. George Gamer has closed up back to Ricciardo. Jens closed back up on Bubba. There is 2 little fights on our hands here for some serious points up in P4 at the moment. I think as we come around towards this straight, we might see Jens trying to size up a move. George Gamer a little bit too far behind, so we'll ride on board with the American team and the Danish driver. A little bit too much of a gap there for Jens. Yeah, too much of a gap to make anything of excitement happen. But we'll then go round to the DRS straight, where we'll see the excitement, I think, where it will happen, as we'll be going on to what will be lap 24 here. Can George do anything on Ricciardo? Looks like he's too far behind, and it will be the same for Jens as well, who looks like he's too far behind. But he has closed up a little bit on that time he has lost. So, yeah, you know, that's a good thing to have, isn't it? It's a good thing to do. Just stay with them. Bion is the next casualty to the DR Alex dream recovery plan. So yeah, I think DR Alex is going to be on 1. Where did Bubba qualify? That's a good question. I think it was P2 or 3. P3, yeah, but he did get Alex off the start, so he was P2 for a little bit. He then had a good fight with Andrew, but Alex got past him quite quickly. Then he had a good fight with Andrew, which I think you did see. But yeah, he did qualify at P3 and had a good start, which, you know, that changes things. George Game and Ricciardo, though, there's been a thing. A thing's happened, Ricciardo, and he's down to P5. George Game has made the move, and he's now got a 3-second lead as well. I'm not sure if that was a mistake by Ricciardo, or whether that was something George Game has done. I'm sure we'll find out afterwards, as we have Toasty in chat. Hello, Toasty. How are you? Yeah, he did qualify 3rd. MJB's woken back up as well, as Andrew has also woken up, and he's really on the back of Nivi now, isn't he? Nearly in that DRS window, that crucial DRS window that you need to have to get some racing done. That's a lot of porpoising there by that V-carb. If you saw that vibrations, it was really like jumping over the rough track of the Netherlands. Watching Andrew live right now, he's doing great. He really is. He's hunting down Nivi. Really closing in. I don't think it'll be long till he tries to make a move. The Canadian driver has some pace at him. He really does. I love this camera angle. This kind of offset T-cam, close to the driver's helmet. You can see the focus going into the brain of Andrew, if there is one. I'm not sure, but you know, into the brain that should be there. With the DRS now, I think it might be his first dosage, and it is going to give him a nice toe behind Nivi, and it's closed up maybe about a 10th. Not enough to make a move anytime soon, but it'll be sooner rather than later. Looking back now, though, Alex has sized up his next customer, his next casualty, and he's going to make a move, try on the inside of Jens. Jens closes it off a little bit too much there. I think Alex was alongside. A little bit cheeky there. Alex is getting a little bit heated in that car, knowing that he's got to make moves happen very soon. The quicker he makes them happen, the quicker he gets through the grid and the more points he gets. So he needs to make this move happen, and he knows that. He knows that. Beautiful sound F1 cars, aren't they? Beautiful sounds. As Alex goes a little bit wide there, but he is really up the chuff in the gearbox of Jens to the inside of turn 12 now. Jens takes the outside line, can get that power down, unlike Alex, and that's going to keep him in that P7. He's putting up a fire. He knows it's for the points, so he's worth doing for that extra couple of points. But I think it's a matter of time now, as there is now DRS, and that flap is wide open on the V-carb. Which way does he go? I think it'll be inside. Yes, it is. Will Jens have anything in the tank to cover it off? No, he cannot. He has to seize position there. I think Alex will be looking to make a move on Bubba now with the DRS. Down the straight. Oh! Alex makes a huge mistake. Down the straight, tries to make a move on Bubba, ends up in the wall, and now he has wing damage. He gets passed by Jens, and he's now down to P8 again. That wing damage looks quite severe. I think this might affect him later on, if not now as well. Obviously, he's still got a bit of grip on that medium, so he's going to be fairly okay. But as that medium dies, yeah, he's going to be in struggle. And you can see he went really wide there. Dear Alex is showing a little bit of a mistake. The rare mistake that the man from Britain makes, he is beginning to make. Maybe a little bit of pressure, as he knows he's leading a championship here. Andrew will cut ahead. Here he is, only under 2 tenths behind Nivi. He's turned that DRS flap off quite early. Maybe just trying to keep a bit of grip on that Williams car. 13 lap all tyres. He's going to begin to struggle now. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be long until we have a proper fight on our hands. 8 laps left, so there's not much time left. But here he comes. Here comes Andrew on the inside of Nivi. DRS activated. It was a little bit late, but he has tried it and it's going to be close. Can he do anything around the outside now? No, he cannot. Nivi knows how to defend, but can he defend the inside from the Canadian driver? Yes, he can, as it's flat out. So there's not a really easy place to make a move there. But down this straight now, a good toe on that Williams car from the Mercedes car is going to give him an advantage to try and make a move on the inside, possibly the outside. Does he try and size one up? Not just yet. I think he's going to wait until we get to the DRS straight to try and make anything happen. But you can see a little bit of a slide there on that Williams car as the rubber is beginning to fade. Andrew likes to go very wide through corners, doesn't he? And that's kind of giving him a bit of a bad exit, as he does lose some time there. Down to P33, 6 tenths behind. DRS has closed it back up again though, but he needs to stop making that mistake through the final corner. Yeah, if he didn't make those mistakes through the final corner, I think that time he's gaining on Nivi would probably help him make a move. Dear old Alex has made a move back on Jens again, and now he's trying to make a move round the outside of what was turn 1 and 2. Now through turn 3, big lock up for the V-carb. Even with that wing damage, he's made 2 moves that look quite easy, and he's got himself back up to P6 as the V-carb driver. He's showing why he's a master driver. He's Mr. Verstappen in the CLR world here. He's showing what he can do. As Skull has retired from session in the pit lane. That was in the points as well. Oh, Skull, he's going to be heartbroken. But Reggie, once again, has been given a nice little point position there. Getting himself up to P12. Roshi Hunter, too bad he had such a good quali. Oh, too bad he had such a good quali. Starting to improve his season though. Yes, he's improving every race. Who's that? Andrew. Andrew is beginning to improve. He is, but he's got a Nivi in front of him. No, he does not. Nivi's been passed by Andrew. When did that happen? It's not going to last long, as Nivi's made the move stick as we go through turn 1 quite easily. But Andrew was ahead. He was ahead. Looking across our order now, it's been a bit of a mixed field here in round 3, hasn't it? A little of, you couldn't predict anything. You couldn't predict anything. If you said Dear Alex was going to crash this race, I would not have believed you. Especially if you said he's going to get a drive-through. That really mixed things up, didn't it? But there are your tyres. A lot of people on very tired tyres. Very tired tyres. Same goes for Ricciardo. That FIA job suits him well, I would say. But you think it's given him a bit of extra pace on track? Extra FIA advantage on track. Maybe there's a secret FIA potion, you know, it gives him a bit more speed. Anyway, Andrew, let's see if he needs the extra FAA potion of speed, or whether he can do it. He stays off the outside line, and he doesn't get any dirt on that tyre. And it has shown, look, here he comes, DRS activated into turn 1. He's already made the move stick. Maybe the commentator doesn't know what he's talking about. As the one time Andrew stays off the outside line, he makes the move before we even get to turn 1. What a move by Andrew. He's taken his time, he's sized one up, and he's got himself up to P2, but how long would that be? Give him a Red Bull, yeah. Gives him wings, it really does, it really does. Maybe that's what Alex is having. Maybe someone chucked him a Red Bull from the grandstands, and that's why he's got this pace after a little bit of an incident. We have a yellow flag though. Who's that for? Was it George Gamer? Was it George Gamer by chance? I think it might have been... Don't know. Just a yellow flag because someone fancied waving it. Got a bit bored, I don't know. Anyway. Jens is still behind Bubba. It's been a bit of a while, Jens. You've got to try and make something happen. Give me a bit of something to watch, why won't you? Anyway, we've gone to that T-cam. It was originally Andrew looking at the back of Mercedes. It's now Nivi looking at the back of a Williams. Nivi can do anything to get that move and position back on Andrew. He stays off the outside line through the final corner towards what will be now turn 1 and 2. Can he do anything to get past the Williams? He's too far behind to make a move happen, and I will have to settle for P3 for a little bit longer. Obviously, he'll have another dosage of that DRS in a minute or two. I say a minute or two, in about a second or two, as here he comes round turn 3 and 4. But yeah, he's too far behind to make anything happen. Andrew, he's just playing that car perfectly, isn't he? Yeah, really well driven. But if that is something Nivi can do, is make you make that mistake, and that is what I think he'll be thinking about as he is beginning to hunt down Andrew. Goes a little bit wide, does Andrew there before we go through this kind of swinging part of the track. Yeah, Andrew is definitely beginning to crack under pressure. P2 is going to be a good result if you can hold it. Here comes Nivi now then. Is he close enough? Yeah, I think he isn't. I don't think he is. DRS is activated on the back of the Mercedes. Both cars obviously powered by the Mercedes, but we do have an incident. We're going to cut all the way back to that. Is Hobnob. Another driver that's not prone to incidents is a Hobnob. And yeah, all the way down in P11, has lost his front wing, and I'm assuming that is going to be a change of front wing. Only a few laps left. I think he'll probably go for a set soft and then go for a fastest lap attempt, as he's really struggling if he can even get back to the pit lane here. It will definitely be a pit stop. Ooh, blimey. Hobnob is really struggling to get that Alpine where it needs to be, but he's done it now. That'll be a front wing change and a nice fresh spanking set of softs. Keep an eye on him later down. I think that's fastest lap attempt coming to that Alpine team. Jean, though, ever since that VSC, played the cards just right. He's got a little bit of graining on that front right now, but he's got such a big lead to anyone behind. I mean, it's the coulda, shoulda, woulda if Alex didn't get that penalty. What would have happened to his race? But he's now on the back of Andrew Ricciardo, so it's now down to him to get that P5 and try and get some more points. Obviously, his closest title rival is below, who's not here. Then it's Bjorn, he's all the way down in P10. But here comes Alex, round the outside, through turn 1 and now turn 2 of Ricciardo. Ricciardo gives him a little bit of push towards the grass, but he has to back out there, a little bit of a lock-up, and it does give Alex P5. Good fighting between these two, as there's now a Red Bull of what will probably be William. No, it's Twinkie. No, yeah, it is Twinkie. Watching on there, getting a little bit of a view of the sister team, making a lovely move there, McLaren. Good little bit of defence there by Ricciardo, but there's only so much you can do. George Gamer there as well. Mr. P4 is back. Let's guess where George will finish. If you remember, George Gamer used to love getting a P4, and guess where he is now. Guess where he is now. Only a few laps left. We're going on to the penultimate lap now with Nivi here, right up behind Andrew. I say right up behind, but he's not really right up behind. There's quite a bit of a gap. And I think Andrew's going to be looking in that mirror going, I might have this, I might have this. And I think there's going to be a bit of a sweat beginning to break. Maybe quite a bit of a sweat. Your boy Hobnob, come on to that fresh set of softs, change his front wing. I think he'll be looking for that fastest lap attempt now. And he'll get a little bit of a toe there as well from the McLaren ahead. So he's not going to say no to that at all, is he? At all. I was just talking about Andrew doing so well to keep Nivi a good distance, and now he's at 4/10. I might have given you a bit of a commentator's curse here, Andrew. I apologise. But Nivi has suddenly found a little bit of pace. We've only got about a lap and a third left to go now. And it's all to play for. This is P2 here. We're on round 3. And it's your closest fight. It's your closest fight. And it's going to be a good one. A British driver, a Canadian driver, and 2 Mercedes-powered cars. But Andrew, through Sector 3, has pulled some master speed out. And I think Nivi might not even get DRS here. As we'll go towards the line for that DRS opening point. And no, he will not. So Andrew has pulled about 5 or 6 tenths here on Nivi in that final sector. And that could almost confirm P2 already. Let's wait and see what he can do in the rest of this lap. But with that gap already formed, Andrew's sweat might be beginning to turn into some happy tears here. Let's keep an eye on it. We go on board with Nivi now. Is there DRS on that Mercedes? No, there is not. It's now down to Andrew then. No more DRS to play for. It is just going to be hard racing. And whether Andrew can keep it within within the black stuff and out of the green stuff. And he could be on for what I think will be an all-time best result here in CLR, which will be a P2, which is going to be beautiful, beautiful performance if he can pull it off. But looking ahead at Jean, he's dominated this second half of the Grand Prix, and he's shown why he will become a CLR race winner as he comes across the line for a beautiful, beautiful performance and get himself a lovely P1. And then Andrew will also break a record, getting himself a P2, which will beat his all-time record here in CLR before Nivi gets himself a P3. George Gamer, quite close behind, gets a P4. For Alex settles for P5 in the end after his penalty. Ricciardo gets P6 before Bubba and Jens get P7 and 8 respectively. P8 for Jens is not a bad result. And then you'll have Max here in P9. He will be slightly happy with that, but it's a good point score for Ferrari this week out for Thursday tier. Bion will get P10, meaning he loses even more time and points to Alex. So even though Alex hasn't had the best race so far, it will still be a point positive on his title rival. And then we also have a fight on our hands between Reggie and Hobnob. This is for the final point here in Thursday tier, round 3. Reggie's not going to give it up too hard, is he? They're both on the soft tyre. Round the outside goes Reggie. Inside goes Hobnob. Who's going to get the power down? It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Reggie, I think. Was it Reggie? Was it Reggie? I don't know who it was. Reggie gets P11. They both got points somehow. There was a penalty for someone, and it's demoted them down. And Reggie's got himself a P11. And Hobnob's got P12, I think. What on earth? What on earth? What an exciting end to a race. That is something. That was something. Wow. Anyway, congratulations to your podium. Jean, Andrew, and Nivi up there. That is a good result for all of them involved. But wow, that finish was something else. So it was Garlic who got 13 seconds worth of penalties. And that has, yeah, not done him a favour, you could say. And that's given Reggie P11 and Hobnob P12. And it was so close between these two. I don't think it was that gap it says on screen. It looked so much more than that. So much more closer than it says. It was only about a 10th apparently, but it's got to be more. It's got to be more. Dear Alex ends up getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix today. And honestly, I suppose it's driver of the daytime. And realistically, obviously, Nivi had a master race. So did George. But I think I think I've got to give it to Nivi, to be fair. Nivi, having a fairly poor qualifying on a return, his return season back in F1, and he has got himself a podium in round 3. So that is something. So congratulations to Nivi there. That's driver of the day for a very nice performance. Obviously, winner, Jean, congratulations to you two and everyone else that was involved. They showed some serious pace today and some fun action, especially right at the end, and that was something else. George Gamer is a champion CLR, 3-time. No worries, thank you guys for joining me. It was nice to have someone here in chat to cheer me on and to cheer the guys on track on as well. Thank you everyone for joining in though. Looking towards next week, Thursday tier, I should be here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will be. And it's going to be at Canada. We're going to go to the P2 Man's home race next time out. Tomorrow night, I'll be here, which is very exciting. We're going to be at Hungary, which is even more exciting for me. And then Sunday tier is also this weekend, and we're going to be at Azerbaijan, which sounds horrible, if I'm going to be honest. That sounds like a nightmare. But we'll wait and see. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe on the YouTube. Make sure you drop a follow on Twitch and have a look at our TikTok. Make sure you repost, like and interact as much as you can, just to give CLR as much posts as we physically can get, because it's we want to get ourselves nice and big, don't we? Anyway, thank you everyone for joining in tonight, and we will see you next time out.